2 weeks ago they were first in the AFC.
Yep.
Now they're 8-5. They're one game ahead of the Broncos in their own division, who started 1-5. It's wild. Broncos sit 7-6 after the win yesterday, and the Chiefs sit 8-5. And those two teams split their division. So if they get into a tie, I don't know. It would come down to the similar thing like the Cowboys and the Eagles. But
well, doesn't it go by divisional record?
Oh, you're right.
First?
You're right.
And they beat the Chargers. The Broncos
lost to the Raiders the first game.
Yeah,
I think the Broncos would have to win out, and the Chiefs would have to lose one more to a divisional opponent.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, my point being is, a couple weeks ago we sat in here, and I agree with you. I agreed with you when we were talking about this. The Chiefs looked like, even though they don't have a number one receiver, even though they look like they're not, clicking on offense, they had a really good defense. We thought the defense was for real. They haven't looked as good the last couple weeks. But 2 weeks later, they're on the outside looking in of the 1 seed. They're probably going to play as the 3 or the 4 seed more than likely, and there's a chance they even drop to 5 or 6. So, tell me this, if you're a Chiefs fan right now, what's your panic meter at from a 1 to 10?
Maybe I would say right in the middle at a 5. I mean, obviously it's been a bad 2 weeks, but the game against Buffalo, everybody expected to be close. People know that the Bills are on paper much better than their record. Going to Lambeau and losing hurts. You need to win that game. So, I mean, they couldn't get a stop in that game. I just don't, I don't know. I just don't see them winning the Super Bowl, I guess, this year, just because we've touched on it with the receivers. The defense, for a while, the defense was looking good enough that, maybe they could do it without any receivers, but now it just doesn't. It doesn't seem like it, but the AFC is just so open, right? I mean, it's like, who's going to, can we say the bona fide favorites are the Ravens? No, they always get beat in the playoffs. So,
yep.
And I mean, I've touched on it before, and I think I've said it in some other podcasts. I think if the Bills beat the Cowboys and they get in, I think they got as good a chance as anybody to get through the AFC. Obviously not going to really have home field advantage or anything like that. Probably won't even get to play a home playoff game, but I think they'll beat the Dolphins in the playoffs if they played them. I think they would, if they played the Chiefs, they definitely could beat them. So I would put the panic meter at a 5. I think that the Chiefs are going to still end up winning that division. They won't end up with the 1 seed, though.
Right.
So they're not going to have home field advantage throughout. But I do think at this point, if they had to go up and play the Ravens in Baltimore in a playoff game, I think I'd probably pick Baltimore to beat them. I don't know.
Man, it would be such a coin toss because I just don't trust Baltimore at all.
Neither do I. I don't trust Lamar or Baltimore. He's just prone to turnovers. Obviously, he's an electric player, but it's especially, it seems like when he gets cold, he just drops the ball. He holds it like Mike Vick running around just in one hand, and it's just the ball could, especially when it gets cold, just pop out of your hand. So
I will say though, looking at kind of the schedule remaining, the Dolphins and the Ravens both do have pretty tough schedules to end the season. But
the Ravens only have 3 losses, correct?
Right. So
and the Chiefs aren't going to catch.
And so they play. The Ravens have at the Jaguars, at the 49ers, versus the Dolphins, versus the Steelers. Pretty tough schedule.
Yeah, that is a pretty tough schedule.
And then the Dolphins, on the other hand, they've got they got the Titans tonight, obviously. Then they got the Jets, which they'll win, but they finish versus the Cowboys, at the Ravens, versus the Bills. So both those teams, if Kansas City were to win out, could they still get it? Yeah. Do we think they're going to? Probably not the way they're playing right now. I mean, I don't trust Kansas City past my nose right now. I don't see them as a real Super Bowl contender. And you look at the Chiefs' schedule at the Patriots versus the Raiders versus the Bengals at the Chargers. They have the easiest schedule remaining by far.
They could definitely run off 4 in a row of that. That's for sure.
I mean, they're going to beat the Patriots. We're going to beat the Raiders. Can they beat the Bengals, who were playing better, and at the Chargers last week? But I don't know. But you've heard it all week long in the last couple of weeks. Patrick Mahomes has never played a road playoff game, and it looks more and more like he's going to have to this year. And they haven't been great on the road. So we'll see what happens going forward with that.